I guess we finally made it to Wano. I'm gonna be honest with you, Luffy pulls off this hat way better than I do. I thought it would look cool. It doesn't look cool. But that's not gonna stop us. Let's talk about One Piece. So we're at chapter 909, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Boy, it's called Seppuku. Man, starts off strong. We basically see what all the other Straw Hats were up to. Like Frankie's a carpenter, Usopp's selling oil, Robin's like some geisha, I think. And Zoro is a Ronin who's been caught and is asked to commit seppuku because he was caught stealing Shushi, one of, the blades that he's been hunting down. It's kind of like the most powerful blade, Hey, you know at this point. A seppuku blade doesn't have a handle, and he, slices in half. It kind of leaves you wondering what actually happened. But one of the things we do know is Kinemon told him, hey, part of our mission is to blend in. So Zoro's doing a great job. Doing a fantastic job of blending in. And we also get to see Marco. He was the second in command to Whitebeard. He's actually looking over one of Whitebeard's nations. It's a smaller nation, so, it's usually ran with crime, and he's healing people and animals. And he's with Viper Cat. You don't remember the Viper Cat, the Dogtown Viper Cat. I don't have to, you guys know more than I know, so I don't have to explain that to you. Cat Viper, Just because I have this hat does not mean that I have now officially become the all-knowing One Piece guy. Far from it, honestly. Very far from it. But it is nice to see Marco because it feels like with the Riviera, we just got done with the Riviera, they're trying to bring all of this One Piece from arcs and arcs ago. I loved Whitebeard as a character, so any type of crumbs that we can learn either more about him or his Whitebeard pirates, I am all about. And while all this is going on, Luffy is on top of a koi because they are caught in this tidal wave because he thought it looked delicious. He starts asking Sanji, hey man, how does this taste? Tastes pretty good. He's like, yeah. He jumps on there. Even Sanji, Nami's like, why do you have to be like this? Sanji's like, he'll be fine. Listen, let him do his thing. Let's just worry about the ship. But Luffy actually takes the koi, attaches it to the Thousand Sunny, and they go up this waterfall and basically crash land. And Luffy kind of wakes up on this island. Are we at Wano? Then he sees a baboon with a katana. And he's like, yeah, no, we're at Wano. We are definitely at Wano. Baboon with a katana. Just when you thought you could see it all. Oda's like, no. Baboon, katana. Yeah, that's the move. That's it. That's what we do. That is the end of volume 90 at chapter 910. So I believe we're going to chapter 924 is what you guys told me to end part 1 of the Wano arc on. You guys have been talking this arc up. It has a lot to live up to. But I'm going to be honest with you, we started with Zoro having to commit seppuku, so honestly, strong start. Very strong start. So, let's get to volume 91. Okay, I should have really done this chapter by chapter, because there is so much information. Where to even start? Okay, so Luffy is on Curry, which is part of Wano, and he runs into Otama. Her story. Let me tell you. He saves her, so they go back to her place, and he's making her rice, and he's eating the rice, and he's like, I want seconds. She's like, I haven't made any rice, and he's licking the bowl, seconds, nah, I'm good. Seconds, I don't need seconds. But then she's like, I gotta use the restroom, and is drinking this water. That comes back around. She should not have been drinking that water. That was a mistake. And her master comes in and sees Luffy, and he's like, who are you? And he tells him she only eats twice, New Year's and her birthday, and today is her birthday, and she cooked the rice for Luffy. Listen, we eat normally about 1 to 3 meals a day. Twice a year. This island of Wano is really, it's in poverty. It is destroyed. And we kind of find out why it's destroyed through this volume. But that is not the only thing we find out. This is the first chapter. This is not the only thing we find out. Her master tells Luffy that Otama is waiting for a pirate to return. That pirate, that pirate, Ace. She's waiting for Ace to return. Dude, I was not expecting that. I'm about to throw my glasses off. I feel like Oda sometimes like throws up like the Ace name just to bring sadness to us. Just to be like, oh, well, now I'm sad. Thank you. Because not only when all this was going down, she had been poisoned from drinking the water to kind of hold at bay her hunger. Because again, she eats twice a year. You're gonna need more water. Like, and so Luffy picks her up and they're gonna take her to the hospital. During so, because now he is dressed in like a samurai to like blend in, he takes one of the 21 excellent grade blade weapons. The dude's trying to stop him. He's like, hey man, it's cursed. Like, don't take that. So he runs off with the excellent blade weapon, and we find out that Basil Hawkins is there to hunt down the Straw Hats. We haven't seen him since Sabodi. Come on, man. You're better than this. It's been 91 volumes. I'm better than this. That's how this first chapter ends. You want to talk about... It's just chapter 9-11. We're in for a good one, aren't we? Like, I feel it even after this first chapter. We got so much more to talk about in volume 91. So Luffy is taking Otama to the hospital, to the doctor, to get help with her poison. And he runs into Zoro, who's like saving this lady from a bunch of bandits. And they are so happy to see each other. Luffy runs up and like hugs him. Dude, the duo is back together. It is so good to see Zoro and Luffy back together. But it doesn't last long because they run into Hawkins. And Zoro tells Luffy, listen, we promised Kinemon we would not make a fuss. And he looks at him, he's like, well, I know what to apologize for. We'll apologize to him later. Because we are about to make a fuss. And this fight was so fun. For one reason, really. Zoro obviously notices one of the 21 excellent blades. And he's like, hey, Luffy, let me see that weapon? Let me see it for like a moment. And Luffy doesn't even use the weapon to cut. He is punching people with holding the sword. That's not how swords work. That was just a fun little dynamic to have in this battle. Because you think like he's dressed in like samurai Wano garb to like blend in. And I was like, man, is Luffy gonna like actually use a sword? And she's just punching people while holding a sword. And Zoro really, really wants to see that sword. But also during this chapter, and I have a theory time, right? So it goes into a little bit of the backstory of Ace meeting Otama. Does Ace not give off Shanks vibe and Otama give off Luffy vibes in that flashback stuff? Like, that's all I could think about is I wonder if Oda did. I'm sure. Listen, it's Oda, so Oda never does anything by accident. I truthfully believe that. But Ace, even like the way he's drawn, the way he's sitting, like he's giving off so much Shanks like vibe. And Otama is really giving off Luffy vibes. We're talking about, I want to join your crew. Are you going to come back? Like, it's from chapter 1. Especially if you haven't, I just reread volume 1. Like, it was fresh in my mind. And it really seemed like the same scene. Except Ace is Shanks and Otama is Luffy. And I wonder if that is on purpose. And another thing that I feel like we've seen a little bit of it, but we really got to see it, is Hawkins' abilities. Like with the cards and pulling out, like it's the upside down Hierophant, and that means that they're gonna get away, and the straw attack. It's basically like if he has souls in him, that he can die like 10 times. Because we've seen his abilities before, but I really feel like we got to witness a good bit. Not the most. Even in this volume, the law fight? Oh, well, we'll get to it. Because really, this fight was not super long. Basically, they attack him a little bit, and then they get away with the lady that Zoro saved. Who, come to find out, is like Kiku. We have to talk about that reveal, right? Just give me a little bit more time. I'm going to get to it, but that is... Think about it. We are only on the 3rd chapter of this volume. we haven't even gotten to the biggest reveal, the ghosts of Wano. You guys know. I found out this volume. You guys already know. So they get to Kiku's tea house and they cure Otama, but then she gets kidnapped by Batman. No, not that Batman. A person. So there are fake, what seems like, I don't know 100%, but what seems like fake devil fruits going around. When people eat them, they become part animals, which Otama is very important to this because she has a power that can help her tame animals. And even later on with Miss Speed, she can tame them because since they are part animals and her power seems if they eat part of her cheek, she can tame animals like she did with the baboon. So Batman and Gazelle Man kidnap her. And then obviously Zoro and Luffy and Kiku, which we find out is a samurai because it's coming. You know. Listen, you know that reveal. Oh, dude. Dude. And they go into Bakura Town. Here's the thing. What they didn't know is Beepo kind of saw them earlier, and he warns Law. Once again, if we go back, Kinemon said, hey, don't make a fuss. Law hears that Zoro and Luffy are going into Bakura Town, which is like the headquarters of this whole thing, of pirates and all that. He's like, oh, they're going to make a fuss. They are going to make a fuss. Spoilers. They make so much of a fuss. They fuss that place all up. See what I did there? I was pretty proud of that one. That one's good. That was good. And how they get into the town, Luffy uses hockey. Dude, he just glares at him. The people like pass out. And Kiku's like, what was that? He's like, it's hockey. Don't worry about it. Trust me. And there is this giant sumo wrestler that's trying to marry Kiku. When Luffy sumo mega slaps the sumo wrestler, it shakes the whole town. Man. And they go at it, and Luffy sumo slaps that guy in the face. Listen, if you watched any of my other videos, you know I love when he slaps that dude in the face or punches that dude in the face. Like, they keep reusing that same thing. I'm into it every time. Every time it's awesome. But actually, Kiku gets the last laugh because she slices off that guy's top knot, which is very, very disrespectful. Like, a lot of disrespect. But I will tell you something about Kiku that I noticed in this volume, and I wonder with the Ghosts of Wano stuff reveal if, I guess, maybe it kind of answers it, but it kind of doesn't, and I still want to pose this question. She talks in the way of, like, this one. Like, she's talking to her about herself in the third person, and it seems like she doesn't want to fight. Again, she's a samurai, so, like, part of that is fighting. But she really seems like almost like a split personality thing. I don't really know how to phrase it. I've thought about kind of how to phrase it. If you've seen my notes for just this volume, it's a lot comparatively to other volumes. Again, it was a lot of information because this volume had the task of setting up Wano. And, you know, apparently Wano is the ongoing arc right now. So, the long arc, apparently. I don't know. It really interests me that she didn't want to fight. And it makes it seem like there's something going on with her. And this could be, listen, you guys know because you read One Piece or watch One Piece. When you start getting into One Piece, right, there's a thing that happens where you look at you're like, what does this mean? Okay, this is a period, but this is an exclamation mark. What could all this mean? There's got to be a reason. So maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it feels like there is a reason that she talks the way she does. And seems like even when she is fighting, she doesn't want to be fighting. Again, it's not really answered in this volume. It might be answered in the last. I believe we're going to chapter 924. So it might be answered in the next 3 chapters. Not sure. Haven't read there yet. But something off about her. But again, I could just be detectiving, reading way too much into things. It has been known to happen. And then Hold'em shows up with Otama in his lion tummy belly. Mouth thing. And Law and Hawkins are almost at the town. So Luffy snatches Otama out of the lion tummy thing. And when he looks at her and she tells him they used pliers on her cheeks. Luffy snaps. He snaps. He drops her. Gum Gum Red Hawks, the lion, hold him in the face, one-shots him, and she sees this and gets flashbacks of Ace. She actually has this really sweet moment because she was kind of hating Luffy, and she realizes that Luffy is Ace's brother and that he is there to help her. I take it as he came back in Ace's place without him even knowing that he was doing this. The universe, or the world of One Piece, led him here to fulfill Ace's promise to Otama. And she starts to notice that. And then, he saves her. He dropped her, but he grabbed her. Like, he didn't let her fall. He saved her. But it really was like a cosmic moment that Luffy fulfilled Ace's promise. And I don't know, man. I really liked that. It wasn't blatantly said. It wasn't anything. It was by Luffy's actions that I feel like I, at least as the reader, got that bit of story information. That without Luffy knowing it, he fulfilled his brother's promise and kept Ace's name alive in a way. I don't know, it was A+. I really liked that. Unless I read too much into it, then I've read too much into it, but I still got that out of it, and it was still a really good feeling. And while all this is going on, Law and Hawkins face off. Well, Law, with something over his head, the man has hand tattoos. Like, even Hawkins, like, I know it was you, man. Like, you're not doing it. I get it. It's you. But they kind of have a standoff. And this is the thought that I had from earlier in this video. I think Law by himself can take Hawkins. I really, really do. And I think Hawkins knows that. Now, he does use the excuse of, like, backing up. This ain't my battle is because Zoro, Luffy, and Law is there. But I think, pound for pound on a fight, Law could take Hawkins right now. That room ability is so... Because even he says it. He's like, I'm not trying to kill you. I'm a doctor. Like, he's not really trying to hurt him. I think if he was, it would have been a different story with that fight. So Law's mad at Zoro and Luffy for causing a fuss and some waves. They definitely did that. But they also got the food and fresh water and brought it back as repayment for Otama feeding Luffy. And he said as a beginning payment. So that kind of felt like a good part 1 of the arc, but you guys told me to keep going. And I am so glad you did. Because this is where we learn about the ghosts of Wano. Law takes Luffy to meet them. This blew my mind. Let's talk about the ghosts of Wano. So the ghost of Wano. Kinemon, Momo, Kiku, Rizzo, and Kinjaro? I think that's how you pronounce it. They are from 20 years in the past. I know. Listen, I was as shocked as you are. Like, dude. These characters, Kinemon and Momo, for sure, that we have been following since Punk Hazard. And he kind of goes into all the trials and tribulations that they went through before they even met Luffy. All these characters, all of them, the 2 characters that we have been known for arcs and arcs and arcs at this point, are from 20 years in the past. Oda just introduced time travel to One Piece. And I think that's what really kind of took me by surprise. Is, okay, it's One Piece. It's the world of One Piece. Anything can happen, right? We have devil fruits. We have people with special abilities. We have Batmans. We have a lot of things. I guess I just never thought of time travel. I never would have put time travel into this world. He did it. Not only, in my opinion, did he do it relatively, when you're talking about time travel, it was pretty well introduced into the world of One Piece. It didn't seem, and I guess One Piece is the perfect fictitious world because you could do something like that, and it's not really immediately met with like, time travel? Really? Like, time travel was your move? That is, again, to give Oda credit, like he has built this perfect world where he can really put anything he wants into it, and it's believable. But boy, when that panel came up and he said 20 years, I was like, what is happening right now? Like, what is happening? Oh, it's so fun. And the reason that they traveled back 20 years into the past is because Odin, the Emperor of Wano, I'm pretty sure, that's what it made it seem. He helped like Dogtown, Cat Viper, like he is a very nice guy. He had a lot of good ideas and ideals to put Wano on the map because really right now Wano is separated from, you're not even allowed to leave or enter the island. It is very much this is a fortress. No one can come in or out, period. And he kind of had this idea. But obviously, like with anything, he had these ideas. He was taken and executed. And that is when Kinemon and the rest decided, we can't go back, but we got to jump into the future until we get to this point. So Kinemon tells Luffy and the others kind of his plan. So he's got Dogtown, Cat Viper, he's got a lot of allies, and they have like a half crescent moon on their ankle to show like we support you and support their ideas to free Wano from this tyranny that they're going under, right? And once they have gathered enough allies, he said like 5,000 is his perfect number, they are going to raid Kaido in 2 weeks. But here's the thing. Kaido is a dragon. He can turn into a dragon. He's a big dragon. While Luffy's learning this, he appears. Also, Jack is back. You remember he was left at the bottom of the ocean? He is back. He has been saved. And he is working with Kaido. There are so many people working with Kaido. So let's go over this just real quick, if I can remember, and let me know in the comments down below if I'm wrong. X-Drake, Hawkins, Jack, Big Mom, Kaido. Are any other worst generations working with Kaido at this point that we know? I am telling you right now, if this arc turns into worst generation versus worst generation to get to Kaido, oh, dude, I would love to see Law and Hawkins. Again, I think Law could take him 100%. And I feel like Zoro and X-Drake would be a good fight. You know what I mean? Like, there are so many cool matchups that you can get. Because obviously Luffy and Kaido, right? Like, that's a given, I'd imagine, at this point. What if it's not? Like, what? Dude, what if Zoro gets his moment to shine? And at the end of all this arc, I know this arc is long and we are just getting started. And I will say this. This is what I think was so impressive. This was the first volume that this volume was about Wano and setting all this up. And they did such a fantastic job to have good action, good dramatic moments like with Otama and Ace and all of that, and answer questions but pose more questions to get you intrigued with this Wano arc that is started. I cannot say enough, volume 91 was chock full of information and great moments. Because again, it started off with, oh, these characters from Punk Hazard are, you know, from 20 years into the past. So this was a strong first volume for the Wano arc. And we have 3 more chapters left for this video, so I guess we should get to volume 92. Okay, I just want to start off by update. X-Drake is not with Kaido. He is not with Kaido. I got that very wrong in the last part of this video. I don't know what made me think of that. I think I remember him having a conversation with Kaido, but now it's clicking with me that he got really, really beat up, which means they are not. He might have, I think he was on Kaido, then the beat up, but he is not on Kaido. I was wrong. I apologize. So we left off. Kaido is in dragon form above the town. Law notices this, calls over Luffy. Luffy just immediately runs to go fight Kaido. Does not care. He's like, oh, I got it. And everybody's like, Luffy, what are you doing? And Law actually runs after him because he makes a pretty good point. Law, Luffy, and Zoro's covers are already blown. So he's like, my cover's blown. Don't mess up the plan. Let me go get him. And we also find out Kaido loves to drink. He is drunk during this. And Kaido kind of gets talked into being like, oh, there's someone over there by the castle. You know, I've seen like reflection. He just blows it up. So at this point, I'm thinking, Sanji, all them gone. Not gonna make it. I mean, I obviously don't think that because it's One Piece, but it's made it seem like that. And Luffy snaps and elephant guns that dude on the top of the head. And that's how that chapter ends. I thought that was such a great ending to a chapter. It's literally the last page is just hitting him on top of the head. So you're thinking, or I was thinking, they could be gone or someone could be very, very injured. And Luffy just, that whole plan that Kinemon had put together gone. But it gets even worse. During the blast of destruction, Miss Speed falls out of the sky. Luffy runs over to her. He was like, did she make it? And she says that Kaido ran into them. And you're kind of given this, and I'm thinking, is she dead? You're kind of given, like, the apple is kind of on the ground, shattered. She's kind of, like, there's an arm in the panel. Luffy loses it. I lose it. Everybody should lose it. He's lost all control. And I'm going to be honest with you. We're about to, like, get my final thoughts on this whole arc. I don't think he's back in control. And Luffy just throws everything at him. Gear 4, elephant organ gun. What is it? Gatling? Elephant organ Gatling gun? King Kong organ gun? What? You know. He's Gear 4. He's smashing them to pieces. Basically, he did his strongest attack at Kaido, and all it did was turn Kaido back into human form, and he knocks Luffy out with one swing of his club. But a funny thing happens, and Kaido's like, why is he just been glaring at me this whole time? And everyone's like, he's just knocked out. And then he uses the Supreme King Haki to knock everyone out around him except for Kaido. And Kaido even calls him when he first kind of comes to after getting, like, whopped by Luffy's strongest attack. He's like, what king was that? And he's like, a boy. So he even acknowledges that Luffy was very powerful. He thought, what king is it? I thought that was a really interesting line. I really like that line, to, like, acknowledge him. But it is funny, because when you start looking at Luffy passed out or knocked out, he does have a glare on his face, and then he hockeys everybody and they pass out. Real good. So this is where we leave off in the whole Wano Act 1 arc, and I did kind of like how it even said, like, end of Act 1 Wano. Like, that was kind of nice to have. So this is what I'm not clear about, okay? I'm kind of clear about everybody else, like, you know, Kinemon created the sinkhole and kind of saved everybody. But one of the things I'm not real sure, let me know in the comments down below, does Duke save Otama? Is that what we're led to believe? Because he's like, this is just a child, Kaido. That's Otama, right? Like, she's not dead. And I don't believe Miss Speed is dead either. They both seemed it was a very, like, they're gone moment. But then that happened. I'm like, oh, maybe they're not gone. And another thing I'm not sure about, and you guys can let me know, on the cover of this, they do the weird faces. So Robin, Usopp, Frankie, Zoro all find out about Luffy fighting Kaido. And they make these weird faces. There's something important about those faces, because even the art style seems very, very off. And I think we've seen it before. But yeah, let me know in the comments. That's, again, something I didn't know. And then for Luffy. And this is why I say I don't think he is back from the breaking point. He is being transported in prison. Also why I said in the beginning, X-Drake, definitely not with Kaido. Made a mistake, that's on me. Definitely not with Kaido. So he is being traveled, and he actually hockeys fish bones into a guy's neck, and he gets thrown in prison with X-Drake. And that's how we end this arc. He is in prison, and his eyes and his look, because he's all kind of wrapped up. I think Luffy is broken right now. For two reasons, actually. I think he still thinks that all his family and Straw Hat, you know, because they're family, is gone. I do think that. But I also think he's shocked that Kaido instantly beat him. I think he's dealing with a pride issue, because really think about this. All of the big bads that we have faced so far never definitively, Kaido definitively knocked him right out. Not close. Which, as an introduction to a big bad, awesome. But for Luffy's ego, probably not so awesome. Yeah, his family, in his mind, is gone. And the person that did it handily knocked him right out. Without really trying. And he threw everything at him. It's going to be a lot to deal with. So we have done it. We have finished the first Arc 1 of Wano. And let me tell you, okay, so as you guys know, if you've watched any of my videos so far, it is a tough job for the volume that has to set up the arc. Because honestly, and One Piece has done this before, that first volume can be info dump after info dump after info dump. But think about this. Not only did it do some compelling stories with, like, the Ace mention, and introduce the big bad with Kaido knocking out Luffy. Otama, a character like Otama, is very unique. We still have no really idea, unless I missed it and let me know in the comments, where her powers come from. Kaido is nowhere close. Like, we don't even have a plan going into Arc 2 of Wano of how to even touch a monster like that. Because let me tell you, again, he was drunk. Like, he is a monster. And it is really cool. It introduced some worst generations back. And overall, Wano, the aesthetic of Wano, because every arc and every island has a certain aesthetic. I really liked the samurai aesthetic. Oh my god, dude, the ghosts of Wano. 20 years from the past with Kinemon. Like, to put that revelation and also have the job of setting up Wano as an island and the arc and Kaido as a big bad and kind of what's going on and introducing all the Straw Hats back together in one way or another. Like, it had so much lifting to do to start this arc. And to be honest with you, not only did it not feel like an info dump, some of it, like, you start seeing names, like, you guys know, I'm bad with numbers. But it wasn't held down by having to do all that, and it still had great action, great character moments, and great story. And boy, let me tell you, if I'm not intrigued, Luffy's in prison. Like, with ex-Drake, who we haven't seen since Sabodi is the name. Sabodi. Why do I want to say it wrong? Sabodi. I promise you, by the time I'm caught up with One Piece, I definitely have to pronounce names better, right? That's how it works. But you guys have hyped up this arc. I'm like, oh man, I can't wait. I can't wait to get to Wano. Like, Wano, can't wait. People, come closer. Come closer. You guys are right. Hey. This is the way you set up an arc. There are so many questions, but not questions like the Riviera, just a giant straw hat. What? And I know this is a long arc because it's the most current arc in One Piece, and maybe that's another reason that I'm so excited about it, is because, like, we're getting closer to current, and maybe that has something to do with it. But I really fell in love with Wano immediately. Just like I said, the aesthetic, and Luffy's got one of the 21 excellent blades. Like, it feels like a culmination of a lot of different things. And it's been such a fun ride. And everything just worked for me. The emotional stuff, and the character moments, and the action, and the story that they're setting up trying to tell, it really, really worked for me. So we are firmly in Wano. And I can't be more excited, as you can see, of my sweet, sweet hat. Not at all bargained price. Not at all. Very sweet hat. Very cool. I know what you're saying. You're typing in a comment right now. Man, that is a cool hat. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. It is. Thank you for noticing how cool my hat is. As always, thank you guys so much, especially to watching to the end of this video. You guys mean the world to me. I appreciate it wholeheartedly. Thank you, thank you, thank you for always supporting these videos and really enjoying my journey through One Piece. Because like I said, you guys enjoying it makes this journey that much better for me. And we're in it. We're in the current arc of One Piece. Did you guys? I never thought we'd be here. And it's so exciting. I cannot wait to continue through Wano. You guys are amazing. I hope if you're having a bad day, it gets better. And if you're having a great day, I hope it becomes fantastic. Better than great. But yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.